If you want to be a little more aggressive, probably, shade over to be aggressive on the bean side at the expense of holding back a little bit on corn, because corn might have a better chance for a bigger post-harvest bounce. Now, we go into a drought in South America, and, if that thing lasts into October, November, that's a different story, and beans will explode. But I don't think you can, factor in a South American drought into your marketing plan at this stage.
So we talked about demand on soybeans. Let's talk about demand here on corn. It's been very good. Exports are 40% above a year ago. Ethanol grind has been running ahead of last year. But, I have crude oil below $70. What does that do to ethanol margins here, even with lower corn?
Yeah, it's going to be a concern. They've been really strong. The margins have been really good for a long time. In fact, I think it was 2 weeks ago we set a new record as far as the ethanol grind, if I'm not mistaken, and then followed up last week with another big number. So it's there, but it is very concerning. We've dipped under 70. Can't seem like we can regain that yet on crude oil. That maybe, to me, is signaling a bigger issue with the world economy and potentially world demand going forward. So it is a concern out there. I don't think it's critical yet. But if we would dip down, say back under 65 and get closer to 60 on crude oil, then I think that becomes a bigger headwind for both ethanol and the renewable diesel side.
Yeah, and boy, we have had some hiccups here in terms of regulatory policy for all the biofuels, so that certainly hasn't been helping bean oil. Bean oil traded under 40 cents there. Who thought that was going to happen?
Yeah, that's maybe not turning out. I know we've got any demand is good demand, and we're putting plants online, but it seems like there's some real issues that need fixed in that renewable diesel sector. That this Chinese cooking oil is really a problem right now.
Oh yeah, the used cooking oil import, boy, has that gotten politically heated. Okay. All right, let's talk about the wheat market as well here. We talked about the fact that, we didn't get much of a rally here today off of the Stats Canada news. Let's talk about why.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the opposite of what we talk about in corn, right? Because, the USDA comes out at a 183 and change, and that's just a huge number, and now we got to work backwards. I think it was kind of the opposite on this wheat number. So, the USDA in August, I think, was like 1.8 million metric tons as far as the Canadian wheat ending stocks. And it was tighter, right? It's tighter than a year ago, but they had a big revision higher in their old crop wheat stocks. And so while it was less than a year ago, it was still above what the market expected. And I think that really kind of held us back, especially the spring wheat contract today.
Yeah, and then you had the dollar higher. I suppose that did not help as well. But it's been interesting to watch the wheat market, because you would think with all of the global production concerns and problems that we have, that market would have taken off. And it's really ignored a lot of that, especially out of the Black Sea, don't you think?
Yeah, it's been like 3+ months. You just almost on a weekly basis there, it seemed like for about 2 months, you just kept seeing revisions lower on the European wheat crop and all these problems in the Black Sea and Ukraine. And wheat just went down every day. And again, I think that was, just shows you that sometimes the fundamentals will eventually win, and I think they're starting to be reflected. But these funds have so much money and they trade so large that they just kind of kept putting the shorts on in spite of friendly fundamentals. The seasonal would tell you that we're probably a little bit past the time frame where we normally start rallying in wheat. Pretty good performance last week, but have backed up a little bit. If we can take that high out from last week, I think that's going to be really important. That's still well above us, 582 3/4 on December Chicago. So we got 12, 13 cents to go. You saw that. I think you would see some additional quick short covering from the funds, but it's been a little bit sloppy here for a couple days.
Yeah, the wheat market is usually the first to bottom, though, and so we need some leadership there, don't we?
Yeah, and I've said all along, I even if you're only a corn grower and you don't care about wheat, you don't produce wheat, they're tied at the hip this year. So we need the wheat market to bottom and put a little better rally in.